Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So today is community stream day, but essentially just that just means I play with an open lobby and anyone is free to hop in and join. And as we get kind of situated a bit and let people join the channel, let's go ahead and do a quick warm-up. Let's just head on over to, let's say, Ashen Mesa. Let's do a Scrapyard, trial by fire. A good old Scrapyard. Alright, what are we looking at here? Scar? No, we can use silencers. We can use meds and silencers now, oh boy. Hey Alex, how's it going? So much opportunity now to do things with guns. Alright, 308, what are we looking for? Where are you at? Max you out real quick. That should be plenty, right? Hey Duffs, how's it going? Quick warm up on the good old Scrapyard. Hey Boo Boo, how's it going? All right.
I hate the surface.
Oh, there's a guy here. Hello, Coolin. They got in here real quick. I didn't even notice them join. Little ninja. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Show me some cyborgs. Oh, they're God. Oh. They're God. They left me. They didn't want to play Scrapyard so bad that they left all their stuff behind too, I guess. Hey Blood, how's it going? No. It's good to hear. Alright, we'll get all across the board. I'm hitting a wall there, what the hell? Huh. Hey, stop that. So is there like a wall here? Yeah, like right here. Huh. I wonder if that's like an old hitbox for a drone or just... How? Oh yeah, it must be like where the drone died, I guess. It's way too small to be a prop, I feel like. Yeah, dubious geometry, yes. It's a very good way of putting it. Where's my Uruskins at? We should have 2 squads here. I see the Brawlers, I don't see the 2 squads of Uruskins. There's one. with the officer in tow. Or I guess at the lead. But there should be one more somewhere. And the reason why, like, I'm looking for these guys is because the officers need to die. And there's usually two. Nada? Alright. That squad's gone now. There's usually one more. Hopefully they're not hiding. Hey zombie, how's it going? There they are. With an officer at the front too. What's the chance I'm scared of like shooting over the railings. I might just hit the railing and miss. Let's just wait. Yep, not right. Like, so I just started up. So like right after this, I'll start waiting for people. Just a quick warm up. But yeah, it is open lobby. I don't know what you're referring to, Critical. No. I feel like Brawler should be immune to the stagger. It's so sad to see like a heavy Brawler unit that's like melee focused just get instantly popped by like a throw weight to the head. Or maybe we can give it a try, zombie. You know, maybe it's gotten better. You know, knock on wood. I mean, you'd be the one suffering through it, so it's really just up to you. Alright, these are the scary brawlers. Let's not fuck with them. Instead of just getting stagger locked, they can shoot back, which is kind of scary. Those are all perfectly fair reasons. Alright, and we're good. I think Monster Hunter came out today too, though, right? Some big releases coming up here and there. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, and so far, so good. Time to leave. Well, I'd like to leave. These... It'd be kind of cool if they did suppressing fire, too. It'd be much harder, I think, to code. But, like, if they... Once you're in combat, if they would like suppress the corner you're behind, it'd be kind of neat. The good old suppress plus flank maneuver. Alright, but we were good here. Critical suppress? What do you mean? They weren't shooting at us, like, keeping us behind the corner. Alright, so let's go over to Frozen Swamp and then we'll wait some people to join. And for the most part, I don't think we'll be questing for the most part. Or we'll just be doing what people want to do when they join. I got plenty of water here. I'm not too worried about doing quests. In the meanwhile, while we wait for anyone to join, we'll give them like, we'll say like 5 minutes. If no one joins, we'll just continue to play. Not too worried about it. All right. What gun do I want to use though? Let's do a little loud, a little not loud. So we'll bring a 50 cal in case we want to snipe a little bit. And then for our main gun, I've used an M4 in a while actually. Let's make sure we silence you though. And 5.56. And we'll bring some meds. Not 98, just 8. And a few drills. And we're good. I think I have everything except for the water upgrades, I think. Yeah, I don't have you, and I don't have water bots. I don't have the turrets either. You kind of like don't really need the turrets though, unless you do the water bots. Let's go ahead and get our, well, let's first pray. You never answer. Here is the true deity. What are the? I'm assuming they're gun parts, but those Uzi parts? No. Actually, they might. Is that the upper from an Uzi? It's kind of hard to tell. That's a good call too. I'll take a scar. All I'm saying, the only thing the Rat King has ever given me is murder occasionally. It does kind of remind me of an Uzi receiver, that 100%. There's other things in here too though, right? It looks like. Like we have the M4 A1 uppers too, it looks like. It's a menagerie of uppers, it looks like. Oh, and lowers. We have lowers there too. Are you browsing his wares? All right, we have a subject. Ah, yes, the crouching of hello. I feel like everyone has better shoes than the old man. Like, come on. He's got, like, actually, he's got hiking shoes too. What the hell is going on here? The prisoners have better shoes, the robots have better shoes. What the hell is going on with the scav attire? Like, look at this. These are, like, prestige. Oh, like, okay, those are not so much. Those are actually pretty, like, pretty shoddy. But like these? Does Gunhead have shoes? That's a great question. I have the same exact fucking shoes as the bot there. On his bot, wait, really? Oh, he does. I did not notice that. That's cute. That's adorable. That's a nice little homage. It's kind of hidden if you don't, like, yeah, twist and turn. I mean, it still kind of has a basic humanoid shape for the most part, right? It just got that weird head thing. It could be a way of like a manual control pad to like, I guess, diagnose him, I guess, or do things to him.
7 and 6 reporting clear skies ahead.
Guess he's still loading in. I will say, considering the shaders too occasionally, it does feel almost like we load in a bit too quick, as in like, it might be better for us to have a longer load screen just to hide anything as they're still popping in here and there. Or for example, to wait till after everyone gets in. I did bring a few drills, I think, right? Oh, I brought meds for... I didn't mean to bring meds. Well, I was playing Massman and switched over to Gunhead. If you want to lead the way, I'll follow you, man. Alright, are you a murder hobo? Doesn't seem like it, just a watcher hobo for now. Does he wants to murder them, or he just wants to watch them? He's looting the dead bodies. Are you openable? You are. Get drilling. Oh yeah, it's a failsafe for if he goes rogue or gets very buggy. You have to interact with his tramp stamp controller. I wonder what his goal is right now. What does he want to do? I wonder if he has any quests, really. He's just vibing. Hey, Ivan. It's community stream, so we're just playing with people with an open lobby. So no real plan. Our plan is to keep other people alive. Hey, Dry. We know that they're working on the Q1 update right now, so Q1 means between now and the end of March. So there should be an update soon, TM. Leave him alone. I feel like it would be precarious to do escort missions. They're a pretty like, they're generally not a very liked game mode, and like, they're very hard to do well. Hey Jacob, how's it going? I don't know what map they're gonna do next. I remember that we got an art for Stairway. I think we've got an art for Downtown too, but I think the Downtown art's been pretty generic. Yeah, like I'm trying to like conceptualize what an escort mission would look like in this. Like you kind of sort of have it with the water thief in Scorched Enclave, but it's not really an escort because he's just supposed to run off and get out of the map, but he gets stuck all the time. Considering the current order system we have with NPCs, I would say like it would hard for probably an escort mission to feel good. It would probably require a lot of finesse that we currently don't have. It can be done, but I'm not sure if the juice is worth the squeeze. Right, down we go. The freaking gun, his little gun head too is just so twerky. Oh. I was hearing it the entire time. I was just like zoning out a bit. Just like not putting two and two together. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds like a medium mech. Oh, that sounds like a medium mech. It'll be fine. It doesn't see us. Can drill into you. He's just living his own life. Emotes when, zombie. Emotes when. When did we get my floss dance emoji? Or sorry, emote. See gunhead floss. I apologize. Can't help myself right now. I like this room a lot. It doesn't always spawn enough loot to warrant opening it, but I like the concept of this room a lot. A locked room with a bunch of loot inside in a dangerous area. It just like hits a lot of boxes for me. The hell's that? Gotcha, I'm on full. It's all eBay. Ah, yes. What's more important? The vital source of nutrients and liquid? Or gotcha box? Naturally, the answer is a gotcha box. Ooh, does he want to go inside the... Does he have the quest? He's buddy hopping. Hey, that's speed. Conceptually, though, I don't mind the concept also of, like, having specific loot. Like, conceptually, right, the problem I have right now is, like, things like data caches and pictures don't make a lot of sense why they piss off HK so much and why they know exactly where you are. But, like, if you took something like a laptop, right, or it's like a data, like, something that would obviously have a tracker in it or be traceable, it makes conceptually a lot more sense. Hey, Boom, how's it going? Like, instead of that data cache, if it was like, you know, a server, it makes conceptually a lot more sense to me. You might have a tracker in a server. Oh, no, 100%, just like the pictures.
I am the weapon. Deciding to use it.
If you take one picture, it's fine. If you take two, it's getting dangerous. If you take three, you have royally pissed off the entire European army. We're rich. And Boar felt good. Didn't really use you at all, because why? Unsilenced, but it felt pretty good. G36? It's actually been a long while since I used that gun, so let's go ahead and knock it out. A little bit of 50 cal, not much. Let's go over to elephant. Let's do some casual elephant. Let's get the lost cash done. And cigarettes. I am just genuinely curious though too, where's Gunhead's eyes at? Is there a camera on like this like little tripod here perhaps? Like this is the thing mounting the gun? Are there perhaps like eyes on the side of that? I don't think I've actually like did an actual 3D look at a Gunhead yet. Like detaching the camera. Unplayable. Why can't I pet the dog? Can I pray? I can pray, but I can't pet the dog. Unplayable. Can I spin? You can kind of see it still going on in the background. They kind of look leathery, Bum, right? We don't know for sure if they're alive or not. But like, it wouldn't be crazy to think they're alive either. They kind of give off the vibe that like there's like leathery little skinny creatures. Well, you see, I have an entire video you can go watch about it. I don't need to go crazy here. I can maintain my sanity for now. All I will say is that the balloons are too small for the cows, and we can leave it at that. I would love to see more like a map where it's like kind of just a ruined city. I guess that's probably what downtown's gonna be, right? I imagine like skyscrapers and some verticality in downtown though, right? But like this, where it's like you have a bunch of destroyed outcroppings like this. I can't recall, I wasn't listening that hard. I'll keep it in mind for the future. Yeah, but we don't really like, so even like Ash and Mesa, right? We have the shantytown, but we have like the skyscrapers. We don't have like these small little like outcrop buildings there. No medium mechs, that's actually kind of refreshing. I fell, what's up, bro? Yeah, it's weird though, because like Blood, we don't like. I'm assuming we can see downtown, sort of, kind of, from where we're at on that Mesa. But yeah, those giant buildings on Scorched Enclave feel like almost like an outlier, right? I'll take a box. Data cache? Ow. Leave me alone. Oh, most definitely Blood. Like, those things are giant. Though I will say, from like what we currently see on Mesa, we can see a few of those buildings, right, that are collapsed a bit. They're kind of like weirdly sized for the most part and pretty barren inside, but conceptually, I think having more indoor maps like that would be very cool. I will say the caveat with that though is I kind of want them to be sprawling a bit. So like the issue being, someone got some data caches. The issues being, like, for example, we have an indoor map with Cemetery, but I think Cemetery is, like, way too small for what it is. It's cool, but, like, it's like a small snippet of a map, right? I think I'm like vaguely familiar with Rain World. It's like a 2D game, right? Oh no. Sniper? I got hit for a lot. Oh no. XO. That's cool. I usually am not like the biggest fan of 2D games, but like conceptually that sounds pretty neat to me. Leave him alone. Take out someone who's also made of metal. Alright, I need some data caches still. There we go. Oh, yeah, I definitely noticed that. Hey, David. It depends on the last time you played. Hold on. Band. Okay, there we go. It depends on the last time you played. If you haven't played, like, if you played the December patch, not much really. They did a quick fix, a hot fix in January. Other than that, we're just waiting for the Q1 patch. But no, like, he had the bug right. Come here, you fiend. How would you like some lung cancer? My average FPS, it depends on the map, but for the most part, around 60. Some maps will get 70 or 80, but I jump it around 60. Elephant Mausoleum's like by far the worst performing map for me, though. Like, I'll occasionally dip down into the 50s in some parts of Elephant Mausoleum. And if you saw like a little bit of stutter there, that was me alt-tabbing to ban a bot on Twitch. I actually don't need meds. He can take them if he wants. I mean, I'm gonna take him if he doesn't, though. I'm good. I'm good. Are you good? I mean, are you considering 50 to 80 whack? What do you think is not whack if you think 50 to 80 is whack?
Keeping humans alive gets old.
Like, keep in mind when you have like high refresh panels, like the 120s, when the 144s, the 244s, and so on and so forth. Those are for like mainly esport titles. Most games are never going to give you that kind of fidelity in regards to frames. Hey Jamie, how's it going? Like, remember, console games, right, are usually 30 or 60 FPS. And you can be like, you know, ooh, consoles, I'm a PC gamer, but still, like, games usually aren't... Games that want to have some graphic fidelity to them aren't usually going to try to aim to give you, like, 144 hertz FPS. Yeah, and a game like this, right, I would say like 60 I'm happy with. It's not like a competitive esports title. If I'm like playing like Apex or CSGO, right, then yeah, the floor is much higher. If I'm not getting at least 140 frames, something's wrong. I need to change my settings, right? Yeah, I mean, they're always working performance too, right? Like, yeah, a stable 60 FPS plus below any frame drops would be nice. And I think that's what they're aiming for too. It's hard too, because like PC specs are all over the board now. All right, let's do a Scorched Enclave. All over the board. But yeah, I think for like a single slash co-op FPS game that's supposed to be like have actually some graphical fidelity to it, I think 60 FPS is a good target. Where are you at, Toothy? Come on, show me target locked. Come on, show me target locked. You can do it, game. I believe in you. We'll take it. Basically. Alright, what have we not rocked recently? I haven't done a saw in a while. A blinding saw. Don't I have a preset for you, though? I do. I need to buy some more 5.56 though. And a little 50 cal. And we'll bring a jump this time too. No, our friend is a god. Honestly, they probably wouldn't want to be here for this anyway, I would think. Why won't you listen? Alright. Let's do a little bit of tomfoolery here with the saw. Yeah, I'm curious to see too where they're headed with HKs. I think, considering the feedback they were asking for in the feedback channel, I think they're aiming mainly for like guns, performance networking, and what was the other thing? I think AI. And you could probably say like HKs fall under AI, but it might be more general than that. I would. They kind of said, I believe, that they were focusing mainly on a quality of life patch. So I'm guessing we're seeing kind of like a polish patch, probably in Q1. Probably some new content too here and there, but I'm guessing it's gonna be a lot of polishing. I kind of forgot that Gunhead can't actually scope in. That'd be kind of neat, actually, conceptually, right? If we, if instead of Gunhead's Gunhead, you just put like a scope on it, so we can see further away. Attack cam. That'd be kind of a cool upgrade, I will say. If like, so, in one of their Q&As, they were talking about how they weren't gonna do like customization because it's too much work and too much time. But like one thing they're planning on doing is kind of doing like a trophy system, where like doing certain quests or killing certain creatures will unlock certain cosmetics for your character. And imagine if like one of the cosmetics for Gunhead was like replacing his Gunhead with a Cyborg head. That was kind of like a built-in tack cam. Could be an upgrade too, right? Oh, there's Pyro. Is he already dead? Fuck you, helicopter. I'd never see Pyro anymore, and then you kill him. You're why I don't see him.
Under threat. Contact all.
And you could do like a cute thing too, right? Where if you have that upgrade for Gunhead where you have like the Cyborg head installed, he could like occasionally speak in Chinese or something. Oh, that sounds so fucking funny. Yeah, I mean, from a creative standpoint, Frog, right? Like, it could be too that we're just like, it could be too that Europa is mainly war machines. They don't have like weird units, so they kind of just have to wait for, I guess, the war machines to get rigged up or the maps to be able to do them. But no, I think you're right. Yeah, like if they're going to add a lot more units in, I think Europa needs some love. Curse you. It's kind of quiet today at Asher Mesa, actually, or sorry, on Scorched Enclave. You know what? I'm not gonna settle for this. I can fix this. I can rewind time. I can go back to the future. I can fix the issue of Pyro ever dying to the chopper in the first place. I can revise history. I have the power, I'm Gunhead. Just gotta visit your local cemetery to rewind the clock. Okay, that should be far enough. I think right now is like considering Pyro's name of Pyro, he's currently missing his signature weapon, a flamethrower. Same thing with Tormentor too. I think Tormentor actually has like a chain link, and like he should have like a machine gun on him, right? Just right now he doesn't. It's all just very work in progress. All right, Pyro. What the hell? This got shot by Toothy. Or sorry, Rat King. Oh wait, I might have forgot though. Pyro is not Toothy. Pyro is a spawn that happens at the beginning of the map. So I can't actually fix that, I don't think, with time revision. So like the Yuskin commander, because it spawns with Toothy, weirdly enough. No, you killed, stop. He kill stole. Why? Why kill steal? Pyro, because he's a scary guy that I think Urusa or Eurasia is scared of. Yeah, I mean, like, conceptually, Frog, I don't disagree with you. It is weird how we're being tasked with killing things that end up dying by themselves perfectly fine. They don't usually need our help. I mean, he's medium mech size, but no, he's not that big. I think, I mean, naturally, if you're like you're a lone scavenger in this city, I don't think you want to be that big, right? You want to be able to hide. Yeah, like, no, it's because it can, like, what you're asking, Frog, I definitely have raised in the sense of, what, am I getting shot through the freaking crack? It feels a bit off-putting for us scavengers to be tasked with, like, murdering people. Like, the occasional assassination quest, sure. But, like, it seems a lot like the local forces are relying upon us to be mercenaries. And I think having that route available is fine. Oh, chopper. You know, I should have brought this. I should have brought a silencer for this, I think. No. You can't see me, I'm below cover. I just got popped by a sniper at long range randomly. Sad. Good old snipers. I would have to give it more thought than that, Frog. It just depends too on where they want to go with it, right? That's kind of like my default response is like, what is conceptually their goal really, right? What is their aim? Let's do some Mesa. We'll give a few minutes for people to join. Mesa's always a good map. Yeah, it does keep in mind, like, we don't have a lot of NPC factions right now, so we don't really notice, like, that is a good point, Duffs, in the sense that we don't know how many scavengers there really are in the city. Wait, why did I pick up that? Like, if it's just like a calling card for a bunch of people to like say like, oh, hey, by the way, we would like this guy dead. And it kind of makes sense too, right? Like, it could just be a case of, we want proof this guy is dead. Go find him, kill him, or find his corpse and collect his things. Or better yet, right? Like, even like a step up from that, like maybe they want part of his mod kit. And so like, hey, go find this guy's corpse. If he's not dead, make him dead. And collect some like neural interface in his head, right? I probably need to go to 545 for a bit, actually. I'm pretty low on 556, I think. Like, there's different ways of presenting the missions in some regards that just don't make it seem like you're some badass trying to take down this guy. You could be, but like playing to the more scabby instincts, right, of saying, hey, this guy's at X location, you know, he's fighting. We don't really care if, like, how you do it or if someone else kills him. We just want some of his parts, right? And so when he dies, go loot him. And perhaps that could be a thing too, right? Where it's a bit precarious, like it takes a bit after you do it. So say, for example, like you get to his corpse and then start like extracting his neural interface, like ripping it out of his body. Just some casual harvesting. Is he still in here? Did he get... I feel like I don't see him anymore. Did he leave? Is he hiding? I'm kind of getting the vibe that he left. No, he says he's in here. Wait, he's maxed out to 67. He might have crashed actually. What's it called? The bug where sometimes it'll just crash or like soft lock your machine. I don't think it was soft lock. It basically just kicks you out of the lobby and you can't rejoin. Oh, wait, no, he's here. No, he's here. Okay, we're good. Where are you hiding, little friend? I thought I lost you. Oh, it's a new person. So I believe his first quest should be to just complete a mission. So we didn't bring any meds. I can drop him some meds though if I really need to. Biggest thing, he doesn't have a silencer, so that's gonna be a little bit of an issue here and there. We'll have to be mindful of that. I was kind of thinking in my mind that it was gonna be like surprise night shift. Welcome to Ashen Mesa. It basically did, yeah. Like the surprise, you're on the horror map. Don't you do it. I feel like those are floodlights too, right? Those look like floodlights. I imagine they'd be blinding too, right? Hey Reggie, happy Friday. Well, he's fine for now. Got hit a little bit. Poor guy's playing with basically 300 ping. Oh, he picked up the rig light. Wait, is that a gardening bucket? Why have I not noticed this? The kiddie pool with the gardening bucket. Sounds good, Reggie. Is this for a dog? I guess it could be for bathing, but it seems like a not great use of water. My first mind definitely went to the dog. Ah yes, the robofishes.
This is it. We decide what happens next.
What happens next, Massbad? That feels like it's way too small for the grabber. I don't know why. Just a smidge too small for the grabber. I feel like the grabber has scrubbers, right? Like a bunch of like Urusk. Ooh, that sounds so cool too. Like a Uruskan servitors. Like essentially like conscript slaves, and they have little brushes they had to brush this grabber off with, and there's like a 50-50 chance you just get eaten by the grabber. This is a very quiet Asha Mesa. I mean, if the game does well, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to expand the IP more. What is with the conga light of you guys? He's gonna be so full, like there's no way he's gonna have room. But no, I could see the case for them to expand the IP further if they do well. Honestly, it's probably the easier part. Like, making the game is the hard part, but expanding the lore and the units and, like, just, like, the general setting. Like, it's not easy, don't get me wrong, but, like, as opposed to making an entire game. He wants to run. Up we go.
As perfect a day as any.
There is like no way he still has room, I feel like. But the only problem with Never Summer, though, right, is it implies the existence of spring and fall, and I guess by winter. All right. For some reason, like when I'm doing stuff for like D&D and lore, I always have this tendency to want to do alliteration. I mean, Ragey, this guy's not using sound, he's new, right? This guy's brand new. So he does not have a sound weapon right now, so that's perfectly fine. He is 100% loud. Hey Delta, how's it going? But like, no, I will generally fall into the trap of trying to use alliteration everywhere. I have to like tell myself not to. Yeah, like that's the reason to use the P90s, just like you've been stocking up for like months at this point. Thanks to the beauty of how many Uruskins or Eurasians there are. Yeah, that's nice, right? Everything works pretty much way better in third person. A little collateral damage there.
Remember, we're already dead.
The FP bug? What's the first person? Like, oh, I mean, that's all of the guns though, right? All of the guns have that kind of issue. All the alcohols. I might even join you in your P90 quest, since I use it so sparingly. I'm not. I'd rather just not even bother trying, like... They said what they said, and so the best approach is just not to do anything, right? If there's a line in the sand that's ambiguous, don't even try getting close to the line in the sand. That way you don't risk crossing it. Alright, let's do a Mech Trench, because I imagine Mech Trench is probably good better for a new player. Though, I can't remember, does he have the drunk? I think he has the water quest now to get water, so it should work out pretty well. Look at you with a fancy flashlight. Hey Mello, how's it going? Me too, I enjoy it. Gotta get an atmosphere to it. It's definitely still work in progress, but... Oh, water. Water, water, water. Usually some people swear by Mech Trench. Especially back at launch, it was like the de facto farming water map.
I hate the surface.
It like in the central, like this map is essentially like really just one big central POI, the Medbay area. And like there's tons of just crates and like medicine and water there, right? There's just so much of it there. For money, Scorched Enclave is probably better because there's like really good lockbox runs on Scorched Enclave. But in regards to meds and water, man, this map is like, you just can't beat it. If you're willing to sprint and buy things, it's like a 2-minute run. The secret for Mech Trench is just making, like, Mech Trench is one of the maps where it's, you usually can't avoid combat. And so you just gotta make sure you position yourself in good spots during the combat. Like, for example, we're not pushing into them, we're letting them kind of kite into us. And now there's always bags. There's always boxes here, or bags here. They can loot that up. I have a vendetta against this guy. Good night, sweet prince. Oh yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the guy here being kept on life support. I mean, in regards to gnarly scenes though, have you not seen the meat grinder room? Or I guess the food room? Meat. And you're like, this is not too bad. Well, that's because we haven't turned it on yet. And don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, as you can see, but it's pretty good. Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of the theme of Europa is they don't have a good food supply like Eurasia does, so they have to recycle pretty heavily. You can always tell, right, that they're always a little bit lost, which is always a fun. It is always nice approaching a new game, right, and then like just having that sense of discovery and wonder and like what the hell is going on. Why are you so slow? So why is it so slow? What are you, like, super full? No. Yeah, as we mow down an entire squad of Europans for the meat grinder. There's HKs. You be mindful now. They aggro, but they're still go. You know that tracks. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, you can't kill the grabbers. I mean, technically you can, but like, really you can't. They have like 100 million HP. They're effectively unkillable. You can stagger them a little bit and try to get away, but like for the most part, you're just better off not fighting them at all. I guess we can just leave this way, actually. That will work. Down we go. I think we should leave this way. I can't stress this enough on how much I want to see this unit in the game. So badly. No, medium mechs are killable. You can kill medium mechs. Medium mechs, I think, are around like 160k, if I recall correctly. The 4 unkillable units are Mother Courage, Toothy, the Orgamech, and the Grabber. And they all have either like 100 million or like a billion HP. Effectively unkillable, but like they do have HP bars, just you have to cheat to kill them. But they don't have death animations, they don't have like loot piles, they drop when they die, so there's not much reason to kill them. Even if you wanted to cheat and kill them. God, it's so bad. Why is the P90 so bad? Ragey, help me! The P90 is objectively just an awful gun right now, my god. It's a tank. Nope, I'm dead. Maybe I should have relayed a bit better than I wanted to leave, but oh well. We were heading to the extract and everyone wanted to go down to the pile. And also, very rare that you see like that many reinforcements coming from that direction so late. Oh, I haven't really messed around with it too much, but yeah, the spectate button doesn't really work too well. So I just don't even bother trying anymore. What to be learned, the P90 is an awful gun. Its third person just felt off too, right? Like the third person aiming just didn't seem like it was like landing correctly either. Could have been proximity though too. All right, let's go over back to like a functional gun. All right, let's bring some meds. Yeah, I mean, I thought I had two people behind me, but I guess they were off doing their own thing. What map now? Swamp? I think we're doing some swamp. Though, he might have the quest to do drones now. If he's on the quest to do drones, we're probably better off doing Mech Trench again. No, you're good, Reiji. I thought I should have relayed a bit better though that I wanted to leave. It seemed like you guys were off both loot and still. It does, I think, the same damage as 9mm, which is, I think, 110. But against Yuskin infantry, right, that have the heavy armor, it does, like, nothing, essentially. Alright, Isaiah didn't respond, so I guess we're just going. But, like, no, the P90 currently, right, it does... It's 50 bullets of 110 damage, right? So it's like not terrible. It's like basically just like a giant Glock or any 9mm SMG. The problem is though the ADS is unusable because of its small little pip sight and inaccuracy. So you basically have like no sight picture at all. And the third person AB didn't feel great, but I was also just being swarmed too. Like if we could switch to left hand there, it probably would have been fine, but like us being in cover to our right side and like having our gun against that just didn't work very well. Like if we have left hand aiming there, we're probably fine. Right off the rip. Who did it? It said HK, I don't see the indicator yet though. Oh, there's a turret there. Weird. Are those new? I don't remember them being there just in the open like this. Maybe it's like a requirement for like a certain amount of people to spawn, but... Yes, this feels so much nicer with a gun that actually does damage. So much nicer. Yeah, I mean, like, it's important to, like, think of Nomad too, right? Like, this isn't trying to be a milsim. It's kind of the reason why I think conceptually doing IRL guns is kind of a mistake. Because you paint this picture, or you paint yourself into a corner of people trying to rationalize how guns should function based off their IRL equivalent. Like if we hold the standard of this game to have the ballistics of a milsim or like Tarkov, it's never gonna hold a candle to any of that, right? Because it's not trying to be that. And I honestly think, kind of weirdly enough too, if they lead into gamifying more of their stuff, it would probably feel better, but it's really up to them. And what I mean by that is like having things that are very clearly not realistic, but for the sake of gameplay. That being, say for example, if their armor system was much more like a very simple armor system, where, say for example, Uruskan infantry has tier 1 armor, meaning that certain weapons function a certain way against that armor, as opposed to having hitboxes and ballistics and plate carriers and so on and so forth. Isaiah is like literally, you can just tell how he's moving. He's like genuinely scared. Which is perfectly fair, right? It is quite a creepy game. There's no reason, there's no shame in feeling scared in this game. Especially early on a new map. That's terrifying. Like, yeah, I don't mind. Like, on that kind of note, Blood Panda, like, Elysium's AK is like a good, like, kind of conceptually an interesting thought, right? Of like a futuristic sort of AK where it's very clearly an AK chassis, right? But like it's been upgraded or modified in this like a sci-fi fashion. And conceptually, right, that's how I kind of view where they can go with it in some regard. Is like you have guns that are very clearly inspired by modern weapons, but also not modern weapons. Reed, I don't have a Discord. I don't want to deal with moderating it, so I just, you know, I use Fundog's Discord and I use my chat here. But it's open lobby, so anyone can join. We're currently full, but like people pop in and pop out. Every other Friday currently is community stream day, so. You guys have some friends behind you. I'm so fucking dead here. This is why I kind of preach that it's better to be proactive and murder things than to just make a conga line. Alright, at least I got picked up. Like, us walking by, like, 3 squads of Europans there is what caused that. Oh, Rage is dead. Alright. Proactive murder. If they are dead, they can't shoot back. Defense through offense. As I try like trying to go in the water, it's not very wise. Like conceptually, right? Like, yeah, no bad. Like having some guns that are like very clearly. Why are you aggroed? That are like kind of just like how Europa is like the straight man. It's perfectly fine to have straight man guns to like kind of show the contrast with more dystopian or futuristic guns, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that every gun is a straight man gun right now. Like, that's conceptually the issue at hand, right? Why the hell is it me you're shooting at? Why are they... I'm so confused on why they all aggro to me. Let me get him. Anyway. I'm not gonna lie. It genuinely feels like Isaiah's in a perpetual state of panic. And that's certainly a vibe to have. Or like a perpetual state of what the hell do I do? Which is very fair. No, but like, yeah, like having a straight man like AK and M4, that's all perfectly fine, right? It's just the fact is like every gun is rooted heavily in reality. Why are you? I don't want to murder you. Walk in front of my bullets. Don't let. I don't want to shoot you. So these guys are probably respawning up there. Stop it. Are probably spawning up there and then walking around. Yeah, Isaiah could use a med pack. You might be able to find one off these guys too. Alright, well, I guess drones can do that. No one just saw a drone face to the floor. I mean, like, I made this post, or I made this comment in my weapons feedback area, where, like, I'm like, hey, I think it would do you guys some good to, like, conceptually sit down and talk where you think the armaments for certain factions are. Because I do think it's a bit... It doesn't feel, like, great, I will say. I mean, he's killing it considering he like doesn't bring in meds at all. He's doing the hardcore run. All right, no half measures. So, what's Isaiah doing? Isaiah, what are you doing, friend? I will say conceptually, maybe looting. Paralysis is the worst thing you can have in this game, right? It's honestly, it's like almost like a life lesson. If you're gonna do anything, just go full bore at it, right? Hesitation is what fucks you up, right? Like, for example, earlier, right, when we first had the ground infantry on here, if we sprinted by them, it would not have been as bad as it probably was, right? We would have gotten to the clear. But us just casually strolling through them is what did us in more than not. And same thing here, right? Just being proactive and murdering. Why are you guys aggroed? Is it visual or something else? Oh, it's a thief drone probably, actually. Understood. Yeah, like there's no reason to explore the milsim space because there's so many different competitors in the milsim space. Why would you bother? And like conceptually too, right? It's just a lot more work for not a lot of bang for your buck. Isaiah, please. Being paralyzed in cover will not save you. Being paralyzed in cover is just waiting for death. Yeah, and you can probably modify it too later if you really wanted a milsim. But like development work wise to actually, okay, here's the thing, right? Too with milsims, it's always a question of how more realistic can you make it, and like you can always push the envelope more, right? It's like where do you make the cutoff line, right? Because you have a game like Tarkov, right, where you first had very arcadey armor, then you had sort of like the more grounded hitbox armor, right? And then you're to the point now where even those hitboxes have differential points of armor. And it's like keeps pushing the envelope more and more toward like realistic, which is fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It just takes up more development time. They had to create each of those systems and expand upon it further. It is like, where does the buck stop? And if you never start that train, you never have to worry about it, right? You can make a stylized armor system that's gamified, but it works for your game. Same thing with ballistics too, right? Like, you know, Tarkov and ballistics, right? They first had a system. Isaiah, no! He was paralyzed by fear a little bit, but Isaiah, no. I will say, Frozen Swamp does it different, though. What map do I want to do? Scrapyard? Let's do some Scrapyard. He didn't die, actually, though, I will say. I think he lived through every single raid. Actually, I'm pretty sure he did. I died once, Ragey died once. But Isaiah always lived on. But yeah, like for example, Tarkov 2 with ballistics, right? They started with a very simple ballistic system. It was still grounded in reality, right? With like bullet drop and velocity and so on and so forth. But like, either they did it now or they did it in the future, or they're still planning on doing it where they kind of modified it to like, so like barrel length affects damage and so on and so forth because of, you know, you get more velocity, you have a longer barrel length up to a certain extent. So there's always this thing with milsims, right, where like, and you kind of get that pressure to a degree, right, where like people are asking for more realistic things, and you can't say like they're wrong, right, too, because it's like you're supposed to be a milsim. Why aren't you trying to be more realistic? And so if you never invite that conversation to come in, you can always push it away. Like, we're not trying to be a milsim. We're trying to be like a stylized extraction shooter.
You know the drill. Stick together.
Yeah, they're very wishy-washy, 100%. Very, very wishy-washy. Like they're an example of like catering to your audience so much. It's very important for the developers themselves to have a vision of what they want their game to look like. And to some extent, audience be damned. You kind of need to take their feedback and like maybe change your vision based on that feedback, but like audiences can usually tell when the game is full of compromises, right? And it feels that way. It doesn't feel like a complete game. It feels like a bunch of different like measures, right? It feels like a bunch of parts stitched together as opposed to a complete picture. But when you design your game from the ground up in a way that you want to design it, it feels much more complete, even if it isn't satisfactory to some players, right? Yeah, and that's fair too, right? And like that comes more with marketing though too, and making sure that like you have a degree of clarity with your audience of what your aim is. Like, and I will say too, it's partially a lot of audiences nowadays also where like they'll read like the top line of description and stop there and be like, yep, that sounds on board for me, and then not realize the rest of the thing says like, by the way, we're aiming for this kind of design, so on and so forth. Sometimes it's on the marketing team, sometimes it's on the the players, and sometimes both. Just like misaligned expectations. Because naturally, just like guns too, right? When you categorize your game a certain way, people are gonna have their preconceived notions of what that means, right? It doesn't make it right, but it does make it like, they're still gonna feel that way. I mean, thankfully there's SBT Tarkov now too, right? So you can kind of play the old experience if you'd like it, and not worry about the more gamified experiences of Tarkov. I still conceptually think, by the way, this drum mag is way too small for 50 rounds of BMG. Like, it might be big enough, but like, it'd also be probably freaking insanely heavy. Yeah, it looks like it would probably fit, like, I would say 30 to 35. I honestly, I don't know what it would fit, but like, it looks too small to fit 50 rounds. And I think, like, conceptually, the biggest thing I have with the biggest problem, leave me alone, I have with Tarkov is that it never, oh my god. These spawns. Hold on. Hello. when he's referring to arcadey gameplay in Tarkov, he means things that diminish the the real life experience, or like essentially makes it a much less realistic and more kind of arcadey, like Call of Duty-ish. I don't personally see that with Tarkov. I think they went more it's between the weight, the armor, and all that, and the ballistics, and then the. I would think that I wouldn't say that Tarkov went more arcadey. But like the biggest, I didn't even rage died. The biggest thing I have with Tarkov, right, is that like they've never really tried to complete their game. It feels like they just keep pushing the can down the road. Like it's a game called Escape from Tarkov, and we're not even anywhere close to escaping it. It feels like. And like, it's important to know too, right? And like, that's like one of the biggest sins of Nikita is scope creep, just like Chris Roberts in Star Citizen. They can't ever stop themselves from doing more, right? Or like wanting more in a single game. There's a certain point where you need to end a project and just ship it out, and then like, sure, you can do you can do support after the game comes out, but you need to 1.0 it to be a complete game eventually. You need to have a complete experience. Which, I mean, like, Tarkov doesn't really have, right? Like, think of the endgame of Tarkov. It's not, doesn't really exist. The endgame of Tarkov is PvP. And just chasing loot and quests, really. They've had 7 years to, like, create an endgame experience, and they've done nothing, really. Except to just add more stuff. And by I mean more stuff, right? Like new guns, new quests, new maps in here and there. But nothing that actually completes the game. And if their goal is to never complete the game and have kind of like a live service game, that's fine. Just say that. It's that kind of shadiness, right, where they're not doing that that feels so weird. What is Rage doing? Looking for a map, maybe? For battle plans? And like that comes down to communication too, right? Like you might have, like you might temporarily piss off your audience by saying, hey, you know, we're going in this direction, releasing the game, it's 1.0, and like it's kind of like a live service game now, right? But this is like kind of the complete picture we have for you. But they're never willing to say that. Nikita has twisted his tongue so many times now, it's basically in a freaking pretzel. What is Reach doing? He's trying to fuck with the Yorgamech? Orgamechs or Orgamech? Plural or one? So like, you know, if there was actually two, I'd be like actually kind of surprised. Did you have a jump to get there? Oh, well, time to leave before we get mauled by Europans again. Poor Otto's been out of heavy ammo for a while now. Yeah, 15 to 20 sounds a lot more accurate to me for this gun. Like, conceptually, the little papa, like, I actually understand doctrine-wise why you might want a main battle rifle in 50. When you have things like grabbers around and a bunch of, like, heavily armored war machines around, you probably want your mainstay infantry to have at least a chance to damage it. So like having your infantry equipped with a 50, BMG rifle makes a lot of sense. Is it like wieldy for like anti-personnel purposes? No, but when you're fighting things like mechs and horror units like giant drones and grabbers, yeah, I think having a battle line full of 50 BMG works out pretty well. Oh no, Nikita has shown through his older talks that he is like, he's in it for the money, right? Like, sure, he wants to make games, but like, he's talked about doing predatory practices with mobile games before. And there's always been this tension, right, where like he will do these talks every like, year or two, where he tries to reconcile himself with the audience by telling, not, I wouldn't say outright lies, but definitely fibs. You garner a lot of goodwill with your community by doing outreach like that, and he's done that quite a few times. But eventually you have it blow up in your face when you're perpetually lying after, several years. It kind of makes sense though, right? Like from a doctrine standpoint, like when you have 308 or you have like the elite infantry, right, use M4s, you have other guns like the MGs being 308, but like for your main battle line infantry, I think it makes a perfectly fine sense to do 50 BMG. I can understand the viewpoint of them, right? Like for considering their degree of like how Europa feels like very practical and how they function, it makes a lot of sense to me to have like a main battle rifle in that, especially if they start doing payloads too, right? I actually do not have a lot of 5.56 right now. Let's go over to goodbye, Otto John. Do I not have a silencer with the Spectre? Really? I want to say it's... I think it might be the one that Aramaki sells, actually. I think it might be that one. Let's go see. There we go. Yeah, this is one that Aramaki sells. Fastmore 45. Alright, we're good there, we're good there. Mausoleum, ruins. And we're good. And I will say too, like, almost like look at Helldivers 2 as an example, right? Oh, well, shit. Oh, nighttime. Like, sure, Helldivers 2 had a lot of Sony kind of authority over them, so they could only do so much. But if Arrowhead was silent during the whole Sony debacle and didn't try to reach out to the community and say their side, like, it would have been a lot worse, right? It kind of like they made it very clear that like they are constrained by their kind of, you know, relationship with their publisher. Hey Rumple. I mean, like, so like we kind of know from what they're asking for feedback on, it's mainly gonna be like weapon and AI focused. I imagine we'll see a new map like we always do, but like I imagine from their feedback they're requesting performance, AI, networking, and then weapons. There might be some extra stuff on top of that, but yeah. Well, it's that no bad. You can't really badmouth your publisher at all, but like they were understanding, and they reached out to the community and like said like, you know, hey, it sucks, but it is what it is. Like we are constrained by our agreements. Like, you know, we're gonna do our best to do good by you, right? And like, sure, Sony didn't garner any goodwill with their actions, but I think Arrowhead definitely garnered a lot of goodwill with how they approached their situation, right? Like almost like a PR masterclass. Like when people can tell you're being genuine, it helps out a lot with your case. Even if you're in the wrong, if you're just like, I'm sorry, but this is how it has to be, people will generally, for the most part, understand. Oh, it's not my fault. Data caches? Wait. It might not actually be my fault. I picked up one. Oh, I picked up two. Okay, I picked up two. It's sort of my fault. Yeah, like it's, if you own up to things, people will respect you a bit more, right? Yeah, maybe Rimple. At the very worst, Rimple, it's gonna be late March, right? The very worst. So Lewis, if you're unfamiliar a little bit with the lore, essentially most of the buildings are 3D printed, and so like this shit on the floor is kind of the lattice, the residue of that. At least that's how I understand it. So like you can see on the walls too, like the kind of lattice. It gives a sense of like 3D printing bots printing them out. We don't have them in game currently, but like conceptually I think it's pretty well established in the lore that there's like bots that will kind of rebuild or build things, and they're 3D printers essentially. Rashad, there should be. I mean, like the water thieves are an scav NPC faction. Granted, they're hostile, but like we should be seeing that is like the one thing they talked about more in Q&As is not a major faction, but like a bunch of small sub factions within the other factions in this faction, right? So we might see like certain companies of Yuruskins and Eurasians and so on and so forth, and then certain like kind of out branches of scavs.
As perfect a day as any.
Yeah, like some of like, so basically everything after launch back in September, if they added more spawns to a map, they seem to persist regardless of day shift or night shift. So for example, in the October patch or the December patch, I think it was October patch, they added mechs to the trench lines here. And those mechs they spawn regardless of if it's night or day. And then same thing with the Gulch over on Ashen Mesa. The extraction near the bunker. They added some Europans there, and those Europans will show up regardless of night shift or day shift, because they were added in after the initial launch. Oh, I didn't realize Rage is actually doing he's doing it via pistol. Oh, it's gonna take forever. Yeah, like, yeah, no, that's the right way of putting it, right? We're not gonna see a new major faction, but we're gonna see sub-factions and divisions inside of those factions, right? Like, you know, yeah, Marines, Army, Air Force, so on and so forth. I think I've seen Toothy once on Night Shift Graveyard. It's been so long, though, so I can't recall. And you can force it to spawn, too, actually. If you have the target locked quest and you get Graveyard Scorched Enclave, he will spawn. Oh, it was a pipe spawn? Okay. Did he get airdropped in? Yeah, Rumple, that's how I kind of conceptually too see like a potential late game. Is like you could easily justify procedurally generated maps with 3D printing bots. Like you could literally make it like a futuristic AI dungeon, right? From like Dungeons and Dragons. Who, Rage? I wouldn't consider Rage an NPC. Rage, do you consider yourself an NPC? Naturally, there's a little bit of delay. Nah, he says nah. Wow, throwing shit in chat. Yeah, but like Rumple, yeah, for sure, right? I can see the case for like a late game kind of procedurally generated sort of dungeon that's repeatable.
Tons of tangos in the area.
Like we have like what, like 2 or 3 more maps currently in the docket. We have Staircase and we have Downtown, right? Is there a third map I'm not thinking of right now? I like how like Rage is like tapping him a little bit, like Rage is like literally just like poking the mech and saying, "Hee haw, you can get to me," and then hides again. Conceptually too, for like, yeah, Warframe's a decent example, right? I wouldn't say go hard into it as Warframe does, but like, I did fuck with Warframe back in the day, back before it got bloated. And that's kind of the issue too, I will say, with like a game like Warframe. They have essentially, they've never like divided it up into like Warframe 1, 2, and 3. But through their major updates, they've kind of almost made multiple games in one game. If you went back and played like the original alphas and betas back in the day of Warframe, it would be so much different. It'd be familiar yet entirely different, because they have like basically added so much stuff onto the base foundation that you can hardly recognize the game it was before. And like conceptually, I wouldn't mind trying to play Warframe, but like anytime I log into Warframe and see like, let's see if I can get into this again, there is just so many moving parts now. It feels like I would need to like take a class to understand what the hell is going on. Yeah, and so like that's kind of a testament to where I feel like at some point you should just end the project and then move on to the next project, so you can kind of have a clean foundation to build off of. Because no matter what, like once the foundation is laid, it's very hard to change it. I mean, you can do it, just a lot of work. So sometimes starting new or starting with like a slate of foundations better. Rage is gonna get there eventually. He's been trying so hard for so long. Yeah, like I don't think Warframe is a bad game. It just seems like it would take so much effort just to learn how to play the game again. Now, Reggie, you don't need to apologize for anything. You're good. You're just vibing, and I'm enjoying you playing cat and mouse with the mech. The poor guy got stuck in a trench. All right, he won. Rage won. Congratulations, Rage. Your prize is a scrambler. Who wants that booty? I don't even know where you'd start with a tutorial in that game though, right? Like you would have to just have a bunch of different tutorials because there's so many moving parts now. I would be surprised if we see it, but that's actually like one thing I'm excited for too. I would love to see like the death animations and the carcasses of mechs in the future. Right now all they do is basically T-pose when they die, but like I would love to see like actual death states for them. Apparently I was a backer back in the day, right? Like I actually backed it back in alpha. So I have like what's it called, Excalibur Prime, like something that only people who backed it back then have. Apparently that makes my account worth a pretty penny, but like naturally it's against terms of service to try to sell it. So I have a chase item that you can't get, which is kind of nice to know. It's nice to feel rewarded for being an early investor. It seems fitting though too, right? I've always enjoyed like playing alpha beta gameplay and seeing it progress along the way. Nice, Bob. Congratulations. All right, Rage. Is it? I think it's Excalibur Prime, right? Yeah, I think it's the like. I think it's called the OG, the OG Warframe. Yeah, I played like an hour into it, Delta, and it wasn't like hard for me to pick it back up again, like combat-wise. There was just like, it's now open world, and like there's so much stuff, the different maps now, and then like there's a bunch of different moving parts, and it's like there's a ship now. It's just a lot of stuff. Yeah, the old Star Trek system, yeah. All right, no moms. I will say though too, in regards to death animations though also, it does seem like the mechs just like powered down at random states up, or states right. It seems like they almost like lock up when they die. You can kind of see their silhouettes right now of like, they all just kind of, they don't T-pose, but they just like, it seems like their systems lock up when they lose power. Oh, that's good. So you're saying I should just go play, like, log into Warframe with my Excal Prime and just, like, say, worship me, minions. Look of how I spent money back in, like, 2010, or whenever it was, like, in early access or in alpha. So you're saying I can roleplay playing Asmon in any game that has multiplayer? It still bugs me so much in like the streamer servers and some MMOs, right? How like things are so fucked economy-wise, just because of like you have a bunch of basically simps for streamers, like giving them tons of shit. I say this streaming right now. Like, I always personally enjoy some integrity in my games. So like stuff that gets people ahead like that just bugs me and irks me. Same thing with cheats too, right? But like, it just feels scummy, right? I wanna compete on an even playing field. No. Bad dog. Rage, be careful. You have a grabber approaching your location. Run, Rage. Yeah, conceptually too, right? I would feel bad. I wouldn't, like, I honestly wouldn't enjoy it. And that's like, conceptually too, right? That's just like a thing with MMOs though. Like, okay, here's the thing. For someone like Asmongold, right, who plays, I guess, different games all the time, for the most part, I'm not sure, I don't follow him at all. I think he just does talking now, right? But like, say if you're like a variety streamer, right, and you have to play different things, I can understand the viewpoint. Hey, Star Fury, thanks, appreciate it. I can understand the viewpoint where, like, if you would never be able to grind things for the end game, I can understand the viewpoint of like, hey, yeah, some people are giving me some stuff so I can actually engage in the end game, because I don't have the ability to put like 200 hours into a game just to get to the end game. Conceptually, that seems a bit like way perfectly fine for me, right? It just, when it comes down to a game that actually has like competitive PvP, like for example, New World had wars, it feels a bit more scummy than that. Especially considering like an MMO, right? Essentially the way I view it for the most part is, if you're affecting no one else, it's fine. If you're affecting someone else, it's kind of fucked, right? If you're playing like a PvE like raid where like nothing rolls over until like PvP or competition versus other players, it's perfectly fine. But like, it feels weird when, like, for example, if a bunch of players give you stuff and you don't know where that stuff came from, who says they just didn't buy 1 million gold off a bot and then give it to you? Distractions for the Jabber would be nice. Rumple, that's what I saw for Excalibur Prime 2. I was looking into it. Oh yeah, exactly. For like Nomad, for example, this game, right? It's a PvE co-op game where you can play single player if you want. If you want to cheat or mod your game, that's your prerogative. Do whatever the fuck you want with your game, right? And it's like my case in point why they should never do PvP in this game is because once you like invite PvP, you suddenly have to start caring about cheats and modding and so on and so forth. And that's kind of the issue with Tarkov to some extent, going back to our conversation with the Tarkov, is they had to deal with the fact is they weren't really planning on a lot of cheaters to just suddenly populate their game. Technically, they should have known better, and maybe they did know better. They were kind of being lazy, but they constantly still had to try to like fix that. We've been here for a while, Blood. It depends, Rashad. I would say that you're right in the sense that more gamers want an experience like that, a more stylized, less realistic game. But there's definitely still plenty of players too who like enjoy the more milsim-y games too, right? Plenty of people play Squad and like things like Hell Let Loose and so on and so forth. But there is a line, right, where like if you are diminishing your gameplay by making a game more realistic, you have to be careful, right? There are some games that are like too realistic or try to be too realistic for their own good, where stylized might be better. I mean, if you're talking about mainstream though, like as in regards to top charts, yeah, that's perfectly fair, right? Rage is just vibing as hell. Yes, we're on a T90. It kind of depends on your cutoff of mainstream though, but like, there are like, yeah, I mean, milsims aren't usually that popular. Like, what's top Steam charts really? Like, You have Apex, you have PUBG, you have CSGO. Oh, there's a grabber over here. I forgot there's a grabber over here. Rage, I'm leaving. Yeah, and like that's the thing. That's the thing too, Lewis. I will say there is a degree of friction with milsims because just like a game like Warframe, right? They require a certain level of buy-in and like cooperation and work. Like they require a degree of work to actually get into and start playing. Like for example, Hell Let Loose is a game that requires both a command structure like Arma, but also requires like constant communication with your squad and planning and so on and so forth. Otherwise, it's just a really shitty battlefield. A really shitty milsim battlefield, but like a really shitty battlefield. And so like for more casual players who don't want to have like that buy-in, right, of having to like both learn a game heavily and then like have to find a good community, it's much better to find like a much more curtailed or tailored experience, right? Like around like Apex. I mean, I have, what's it called, right? I have like my UE unlocker, which basically gives me free cam. So it injects DLLs. It's technically a cheat. Like if I use that in an Unreal Engine game with a cheat engine or anti-cheat in it, it would flag me for sure and probably ban me. What does Rage do it? I wish I could spectate. Never works for me. Oh, there he is. But like Lewis, that's the thing too though, right? Hell Let Loose is like you can only have 2 squads of recon. It's really cool when it works, but like it requires everyone to buy into it. I mean, I'm tired of like round-based games, right? For the most part. And I guess you could probably say this is a round-based game, which is, I guess, a fair point. But like, I like, and I will say, one of my critiques of this game actually is the maps are too small in my opinion. And I know they had the issues with Elephant Mausoleum being too big, right? But I think if they're willing to like, I feel they can make bigger maps. It just requires, I guess, more work on their end. And it requires some like clever level design and making sure like you know LOD or call out some areas of the map that aren't rendered in or aren't like visible currently. Like right now, it seems that for the most part, when you spawn in, everything is like rendered in there, and they'll make the resolution worse, right? They'll like, have different LODs for if they're far away, but they won't ever unload the areas. They'll always be there. And I guess it could be a consideration too, right? That they don't want to have a scenario where like if you have a hard drive, you might, if you have a hard drive with a slow read and write speed, right? You might go into an area and it's not rendered up yet. Or loaded into yet, because it loaded from your hard drive into memory. So it could be a consideration basically if they're trying to optimize or allow the game to run on hard drives, not just SSDs. That could be the case. Yeah, it takes a lot more time than they might be willing to spend, right? And naturally, I think one of the bigger aspects too, right? You can do Scorched Enclave. Conceptually, one of the bigger aspects too, right, is like I always just remind myself that these guys, at least the 2 figureheads, right, were mainly artists for the most part, if I understood correctly. And so like I always view their choices as being artistically inspired, right? They don't want to make a map that's good for gameplay. Not saying they don't want to make a good map for gameplay, but like their prior first thought, right, is making a map that has a cool aesthetic that artistically fits their theme that they're going for, and then kind of amending it or making sure the gameplay works, right? Like it's style first and then substance later. And then I feel like designing a map that might be bigger might require thinking of substance first before style.
I hate the surface.
Lewis, it's mainly just probably uncompressed textures for the most part. Considering every single map for the most part, Lewis, is not very heavily recycled, it feels like. A lot of it's just, yeah, like different textures, different like uncompressed textures, sound, so on and so forth. When you have like 9, 10, 12 different maps that each have like their own art style and their own textures, if like, and especially high resolution textures too, yeah, it fills you up pretty quickly. It's why, for example, some games too will do like an add-on pack of like HD textures, so they don't have to ship the game with like 4K textures. Because keep in mind, right? If you have a texture that's good for 1080p and you're trying to make a texture that works for 4K, remember, it's not just... Remember, it's area, right? It's not just like... It's area. It's a lot more than you think about. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? Go away. I didn't realize you were an officer, I'm sorry. Save me. Kill the officer first, though. Rage. Rage, save me. Wait, is that a meat? What are you doing there? Why is the meaty mech doing what it's doing? I can save you. Media mech, please go away. Go, 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 go. What did we do to draw your ire? We killed some... We helped you. We killed some Uruskins. Why are you so cross with us? You looked at him wrong, understood. Oh no, man, I do agree with you, right? That comes with optimization though too, right? Of like figuring out what things need high resolution, what don't. Like, and I'm sure too, as they approach launch, they can probably definitely heavily start optimizing their size once we start approaching launch. Salters? Officers. Yeah. I am eventually, like, on that note, Lewis, I am kind of hoping that we get some rework for silencers. Like, don't get me wrong, silencers do make your gun silenter, right? But, like, they're not infinitely silent. They do still make noise. And like that, along with what you're saying, Lewis, in the sense of like, it would make sense, like say for example, if you're shooting a Scar, right, it should attract less attention, or maybe attract no attention from other Europans, but might attract more attention from Uruskins and Eurasians who know that's an enemy. Like more ways of making it not necessary to have silencers, along with making it a bit more immersive. Ooh, gotcha.
Perfection.
Don't you do it. Oh yeah, for the most part, really. Like, unless they do a lot of new custom textures on newer maps, like, for the most part, we're probably fairly close to, like, the file size, right? Like, we might get into, like, an extra 10 or 20 gigs, but for the most part, shouldn't be too crazy. Oh, for sure, like the whole like kind of like a karma system in regards to like, yeah, if you're friendly with your like Europa and you're killing your Ruskins, they might give you some leeway or a lot of leeway. They only start really giving a shit if you start. Are you shooting? You didn't shoot the chopper, did you? You fiend, you absolute fiend. But yeah, like they might give you a lot of leeway or berth, right? And like unless you are clearly trespassing in an area where you shouldn't be, they don't fuck with you. The way you phrase that, Rage, makes me think that you actually did. What the hell are you doing up there? He's practicing his no scopes. You can see it. Sorry, he's practicing his quick scopes right now. Silly Toothy. Yeah, they'll pop in. Maybe that's what we'll see too in the future, with the AI update they're working on right now. Apparently, yeah, the flick shot.
Wake me up in a year.
It's funny too, right? Like how we can bring a cultist in or bring a pilot in. And like they'll just like fully gun down their former allies. Like, for example, bringing the European pilot in for a pilot on pilot crime. For those unaware, we rescued a pilot, brought them in as a companion, and we had them go murder the other pilot immediately, and they did it. No questions asked. Let's see here. You know what we haven't done yet? We haven't done this all day. Rage, how are you feeling about? I should probably bring some ammo in just in case it goes awkwardly. Sure, we're gonna see 96 in. I mean, there's the mod rumple, right, to actually have a Mother Courage like skin for Scav Girl, I believe. I think it's for Scav Girl. Pretty sure it's Scav Girl. We'll bring like 2 med kits. This is perfectly fine. I'm trying to think why I'd be traumatized by that. I don't think I have one, Nomad. I don't think really much of this game traumatizes me anymore. The only time I can remember being like actually genuinely shocked was being like randomly grabbed by a grabber when I opened a door. Because apparently it was waiting outside with no indication it was aggroed. And me making like no noise. That's very fair, Lewis.
I hate the surface.
Alright, sounds good, Rage. Like, for example, I mean, we have the very realistic guns, but then we have this gun, a gun from like World War One, the C96. Like, why is this here? Oh god, it's already here, it's already here, it's already here. Other door, other door, other door, other door. Just don't look at it.
You're too busy eating something else.
Rage Rod! Weirdly enough, I still have tunnel vision. The door broke. Now, unfortunately, the logbook might be back where we were. Yeah, but like, I'm thinking conceptually, right? Like, why, if you were designing an AI factory... Rage, no! Through the door! Them saying the sync kills were fixed have been greatly exaggerated. That thing pulled it from so far away. Let me just rescue the civilians real quick and then we can leave. Yeah, well, I think Lil Papa too. I think it's from an I think it's from an asset pack, but yeah. If I recall correctly, like the one data mine thing we know for sure, asset pack wise, is like the guns are from an asset pack, which is just understandable, right? All right, time to flee. And that's conceptually too why I like playing characters with above 2k HP, is the dog can't do like the random desyncy grabs. It only usually happens when it can't actually reach you for some reason, but like still. I mean, Lewis, true. There are only so many ways to model an AK. But like, considering
We can sneak past.
what was I saying? I got distracted by the dog being here too. Yeah, like the attachments I think are also part of the attachment. The whole like kit, like the attachments plus the guns were part of an asset pack. You kind of like pigeonhole yourself into using all of those, I feel like, to some degree. And to be perfectly quite fair, like, so you all understand where I'm coming from, I am not a fan of the attachment system in this game. So like, when I say these things, I'm definitely going to skew them under that light as being not a fan of the attachment system in this game. I think it's unnecessary.
Ooh. Another reason, stay alive.
I would rather have modelers make more guns that are interesting than make more attachments for guns. And I would rather have programmers work on making more interesting guns than making, you know, attachments work for all of these guns. Yeah, like the Elysium's kind of like style of like weapon, I think is appropriate, right? Like you have the base HK, but like your attachment is something like that bespoke or nice about it. See ya, Rage. Thanks for playing. That's perfectly fine. You can have like, there's nothing wrong with having a straight man, like in a sense of having an AK, having your stock AK, having your stock Scar, and having it aesthetically fit. For example, right? If your goal was to have like your Scar and 50 BMG, you can kind of tailor the whole gun to be like that, right? Where it still like has that semblance of a Scar, but you kind of upscale almost everything a little bit to make it more fitting. Yeah, so like Lewis, the thing is though, I'm pretty sure it's not stand-in. I think it might just be the de facto actual guns. They might be a baseline to replace. I will say they could be a baseline to replace in the future, but I'm kind of feeling more and more that they might be the actual just what's being used. And I could be wrong. I could be perfectly wrong. I'm actually, I genuinely hope I'm wrong. No, he's got Shovel Mask. I think he has like 3 variants. No, but Shovel Mask is definitely one of them. And honestly, I should have a melee attack with the headbutt with this thing. It's only fitting, right? Was I gonna do Mesa? I was gonna do Mesa, actually, yeah. Let's see here. They scream out of place, but like, if there's any artists in chat, speak up. But like, so cause I want to have your perspective, because I'm artistically inclined, but I'm not, I would consider an artist. I'm much more of a writer than an artist. But like, if you're an artist, right, you have kind of the art you prefer. So say, for example, if you're a character artist, if you like making characters and making mechs and so on and so forth, and naturally you would have guns with mechs, right? But like, would you really enjoy just doing only guns for the most part if you're more of a character artist? Like, say, for example, if you really, like, so far, like, considering all of the cool characters we have, right, it seems that a lot of the artists are character artists and maybe environmental artists. And, like, it feels like guns are almost their own little thing, right? Where they're, like, a branch off of each of those and its own separate thing. Nice, Reggie. And what we're gonna do is let's use a shotgun. We haven't used a shotgun all day. Alright, we're good across the board. And like, on that note though, sort of, kind of, little Papa, like, it's the attachments, right, that just kind of give me that sort of hesitation a bit. Like, it seems that maybe it was pretty easy to tie in, right? And maybe they have plans of doing attachments in the future, right? But like, considering the current breadth of attachments we currently have, are they really gonna throw all of that away? Like, why bother in the first place doing so many attachments if they weren't going to utilize them in the future? And it could be the case they wanted to have that many different variants, right? Like, we have them, might as well use them, perhaps.
scrape the surface.
Yeah, like that's dust. On that point though, like that's where I'm thinking, like, you know, stylistically it's important to like kind of make your guns bespoke, right? Because yeah, if you try to like ground them in reality and make them realistic and make them kind of like guns that would function IRL, or like make them an AK, people are gonna pick them apart, right? For functioning differently from how they expect. And still, like, naturally, like, the size and, like, make of a gun and the shape of a gun will kind of inform how you think that gun should function, so, like, it should kind of follow that. But for the most part, you can get away with some things, though. Alright, so we have sniper. Way too low. I think it's just spread, actually. I think it's like, there we go. He's dead. I'm gonna loot him. Loot him before he dies, or loot him before he despawns, rather. Oh, for sure, the grenade launcher, yeah. It looks like a very pretty bog standard grenade launcher, but like a little bit stylized, which is perfectly fine. It's just sort of, I think, a very revolver grenade launcher. Same thing with Painless too. Like, Painless looks cool. It's not fully functional yet because it kind of has some like weird like aspects of ADSing and so on and so forth. But like conceptually, it looks cool. And same with the MG34. All right, let's go get my sniper guy before he despawns.
Check those corners.
I didn't bring meds. I think I'm so used to playing the no med life that I just like forget to bring meds sometimes now. Leave me alone. Thank you. Base chopper. Yeah, which will be great. It's just like a lot of work too, right? Wait, what the hell? What the hell are you? And like, the way I'm kind of viewing it though is from like a workflow standpoint. I feel almost it's more time efficient to like, to do like bespoke guns right off the rip, as opposed to start with like pretty grounded guns and then like add modifications to change them to be more stylized. But it could have been a time constraint too in regards to like, they wanted to get the game out for testing and like there was no way they would have enough time to add all the guns they wanted to. But I'm also the opinion too, like I would prefer fewer but more interesting as opposed to many but a lot of overlap like we currently have. And that's definitely personal preference though, right? That's not gonna be like everyone's preference. Some people like having the wide breadth of guns. It's just kind of like where you want to go with it. One's not objectively better than the other. They both have their trade-offs. Yeah, that's always been my hesitation too. Like that's, Lewis, like you kind of nailed my biggest point back in the day I would talk about is a lot of the guns feel too polymery and too plasticky. And that is definitely my preconceived notion, sort of like of dystopia and like, you know, this type of art style is it's very metal. It's very metal focused. I can see the case for like sci-fi weapons being much more like plastically or polymery, but like when I'm thinking of like a crude, just like a Scar and 50 BMG, it's just all metal. And you could even have the case too, right? For example, where like the AI is just just considering pure production value and resource management, and so like you might have the Scar in 50 might have a wireframe stock. It might be a beefy wireframe stock, but like wireframe nonetheless. Like Rumpel, I guess Sten or a Ludi. Like I can definitely see a case for like a scav pipe gun, right? And considering we have cryo rounds too, right? It kind of gives the illusion that we're gonna see a bit more sci-fi jank. Rounds that literally freeze a grabber for a second. You know what? I feel like we had to rush through Cemetery too quickly that time. And in my defense, I did see poor Reiji get murdered in front of me. But this time, if anyone dies, it's only going to be me, unless someone joins. I feel, though, conceptually, I'm not sure if a lot of people actually like Cemetery. So if they see an open lobby on Cemetery, I'm not sure if they join it. Yeah, I think each faction has a theme. I just don't think it's very thoroughly explored yet in the weapons. Which is like one of my critiques and kind of my weapon feedback was like, I would love for you guys to kind of like have an ideological kind of display with each faction. Yeah, like Europa's diesel punk, Urusa's biopunk, and then you have Eurasia, which is more like cyberpunk. But right now, the guns are all kind of just conventional. Like, none of the guns currently fit any of those punks. Except for, like, you do have guns like Painless, which kind of fit into more, for example, like diesel punky. Where are you, Painless? Like, for example, Painless does kind of fit that like diesel punk sort of vibe, right? Where it does feel like this amalgamation of steel and wire and just functionality. And then you have things like the P9 is too conventional, right? Where's another one, like the MG34 perhaps? But MG34 is once again a gun of Europa, right? Where you kind of have, once again, it's heavily steel, and so on and so forth. I wonder if they know we're playing Cemetery. I guess they're gonna find out.
Hello, man. When new video, man?
Sorry, what's up?
What's up? When a new video, man?
Oh, new video. Oh, eventually.
Nice.
It's
nice.
not probably until like not soon. Yeah, new video. I haven't started a script yet.
Man. Yep.
Sorry, what was that last part?
You're a very good speaker, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks. Appreciate the kind words. That was nice. Just wanted to stop by and say some kind words before we go get killed by the grabber. I can't recall if I've ever seen an M60 on Europa yet. It seems that most of Europa utilizes what's it called? The MG34. The way I wouldn't say it'd be much more like, so they might use bioweapons, hey Booter, like Scorn. I kind of See you, Star Fury. You too. I kind of think conceptually the way I view the biopunk of Urusa, for me, is that like as opposed to having the guns themselves be biopunk, what they do is they have weird, unique, kind of more conventional guns, and maybe a bit weird guns, right? That the flesh is molded around, right? Like, for example, say for example, like you had a giant. We actually see this in a few areas too, right? There's a few instances where we see like oversized humanoid creatures. Imagine, for example, that's part of like a bioengineered Urusa thing, where they make these giant humans with bioengineering, and they kind of fit them with a car pace, right? Like almost like a mini mech. And I guess I'm kind of just describing the Orgamech right now, but I'm kind of thinking as opposed to like the Orgamech and its shock trooper like melee nature, you kind of have a gun you build the flesh or the creature around. That's kind of how I view the biopunk of Urusa a little bit, as opposed to having like almost the biological weapons of Scorn. You more of just have weird weapons that are built around by. Why are you overleg? Hold on. Let me just close Discord real quick. I don't know why Discord decided to start doing weird things with overlays. No, you shall not see more DMs. I think I had the setting off to, I think an update maybe changed or updated it again, but I don't know. Technically speaking, despite it screaming at me, it still has not seen me yet, thanks to tunnel vision. I can see that case too, like them having very bespoke kind of ammunition, for example. But as opposed to having like biologically grown weapons, despite that being very biopunk, I more view of them creating a weapon that needs like an actual like modifications for a human to actually use. I mean, they could go that route where they grow their own guns. I would say the art style of Urusa doesn't feel exactly in line with that right now, but maybe. Like, for example, I can see, for example, like, the grabber, for example, has a bunch of different little weapons here and there and extra hands. You can kind of see the case for, like, bespoke weapons designed for utilizing by the grabber. Alright, is there a book over here? It's not there.
Only have to be faster than the slowest
See,
human.
conceptually right now, it feels like the grabber hates me and is aware that I'm here. I guess the doors are closed, thank God. Alright, the book's not there.
All signs point to death here.
Oh, there's just scramblers here too. This is a very chaotic night shift right now. Cultists, right? Yeah. I just like Maskin's ability to use all the guns in the game for the most part. He's the best, like, all-around character. If you want something more, like... If you're looking for something a bit more, like, excelling in one certain field, there's better characters. Like, if you want more speed, you have Shaman. If you want a lot more speed, you have Scavenger. But if you want like an all-rounder, like Masked Man doesn't come like, it's not close. Old Man might eventually get there, but Old Man has the issues of like he has a few just weird restrictions, right? Can't use SMGs. Can't use I don't think he can use LMGs either, but like he also has the issues too with his rigs. I imagine though, like once they probably revise characters a bit, I'm sure Old Man will probably be a good middleman too. Yeah, wondering if they're gonna explore like more like weird characters, like non-human characters, like Bagman, or sorry, like Gunhead. All right, I need my logbook. Chair physics. I wanna pop a wheelie. Yeah, like it's definitely Mushi became a lot grayer now with Gunhead. Between both Masked Man and Gunhead, Bagman's lost really all of his niche.
Too busy eating something else.
And I will say, like the one thing that's his saving grace is that technically speaking, he is still the king of carrying lots of shit, thanks to his carrying capacity upgrades. But that's really about it. Honestly, I could definitely see there being a case for like a freaking, what's it called? A poor, it didn't spawn here either. Oh well. The poor case of like, imagine if there's a school of AIs, right? And like you're all trained, like all your AIs are trained, right? And how well you do in training is what you're prescribed and what you produce. Imagine like all like, you're the AI that produces scars. You're the AI that produces grenade launchers. You're the AI that produces plastic chairs. What? My life is this. I make plastic chairs? Yes. How does it help the war effort? We can sit down. Hey, I guess conceptually, okay. Argument chat. If you had to, like, say you were in a 1v1 fight, and like, let's say for example, it's a clone. Like, it's a clone of you. You are fighting yourself. So to take that out of the equation of like that, in a fight like that, would you rather have a spoon or a plastic chair? This basically being in the sense of, what's a better weapon? A spoon or a plastic chair? The spoon is metal. Yes, I will say the spoon is metal. Yeah, but like, is the chair really gonna do that much damage if you start? No, the chair is the plastic chair that we saw. So the argument here is like, you're right, is if you were an AI and you were like, you know, you wanted to make weapons, right? But you can only ever produce chairs, plastic chairs, or metal spoons. Which is better? I personally am in the camp of metal spoon. Because like, once you get, like, you can just like, they just grab the chair, push it out of the way, and start spooning you to death. Because it's metal. You disarm the man. I'm trying to think conceptually of like how you would parry How would you parry or disarm the poor spoon man with a chair? I mean, conceptually, if you wanted to, you could try and sharpen the. I will say this: you have nothing else but what you're given, so you have a plastic spoon or a chair. If you could sharpen the legs on the chair, then sure. But like at face value, right? Plastic chair or spoon? It's gotta be spoon. I can't ever like. I'm sure you could kill someone with a plastic chair. It'd be a lot harder than with a spoon, I feel like. Yeah, so like, in regards to being a shield, yes, the chair is a much better shield. Because you can push people away, right? The only problem though is it doesn't ward people away. Like, it doesn't, like, there's no threat of them getting hurt really from the plastic chair if you're using it as a shield. They can just grab it and then like get into grappling range with the spoon. That is true. It's not a folding plastic chair. Yeah, but like then they have a spoon in hand-to-hand combat, right? They can definitely get at you with a spoon. Let's see what map. Scrapyard, Scrapyard. I will say that is fair. Like, yeah, if you get lucky and aim your preciseness right, you could throat someone with a chaired leg. That is true. Like, it's not, I would say, 100-0 for the spoon versus chair.
You online or no?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
I think you're the one I was watching a few of your YouTube videos and stuff.
Hey, how's it going then?
Oh, all right. Think you do some, I don't know, thoughts on like the grabber and stuff like that, like, you know, talk about how they're built and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, the deep dives. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, I watched a few of them. A couple of them, the grabber and something else. I think I watched today or yesterday or something.
That's cool. Did you enjoy them at least? He's gonna say no. He's gonna say no. Silence. Yes. Awkward silence. Did you enjoy them? Silence. I'm not surprised. I would probably do the same thing just for comedic effect. Don't tell him about the spoon. The next video is gonna be the spoon versus the plastic chair.
Oh, my bad. I forgot I gotta push the talk. Yeah, that grabber just pissed my ass off, dude. That's one map I stood up on something real high. It just shot all my ammo.
Oh, you can't. You
unloaded all of it, and it never did anything.
You can't kill it. Yeah, it's invulnerable basically right now.
So I was like, what the hell's the deal with this damn thing? Let me watch some YouTube videos and see what the hell's up.
Yeah, it's.
I watched another.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I watched another one. I don't know if it's yours or some. I think it was someone else's. They had a tutorial how to get through the underground cemetery with it with the UAV.
Yeah, with the scanner. Yeah, it helps out a ton.
Yeah, it does on some maps. Are you going for some kind of quest here or what?
No, just vibing, just playing around murdering things.
Yeah, that's what I do most of the time. I still got. I just started playing. I only got like, I don't know, 50 hours in, 60 hours.
That's pretty good. Hey, Mr. Grooves.
That's in like not even 2 weeks' time.
That's actually pretty good. That's more than me basically right now. I only usually play about 12 hours a week at
No
most.
life.
Oh, that's fine. Who doesn't? Your hobby is gaming. That's nothing wrong with that.
I could play 12 hours in one day.
There you go.
No, actually, I work for myself. It's just slow right now, so I'm sitting around playing it.
Yeah, shooting the shit. Nothing wrong with that. See you, Delta.
I was about to give up on it when I first started playing. I was like, what the hell is this game? I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, there definitely is a bit of a learning curve.
Get destroyed, dude. I was like, what the fuck is the point in this game? What the hell am I even supposed to be doing?
Surviving, but like it's very early access.
Watch YouTube videos like, oh, I'm just supposed to walk around and fucking pick shit up and sell it
Yeah.
until I get stronger to go through, I don't know, harder missions or whatever. I don't know. There is no, like,
there's not progression right now.
Seeing there's quests.
Yeah, it's early access. There's not really progression right now. It's just it's basically just a vibe game right now for the most part.
I think I got this guy right here. I think he's level 16 maybe or 18.
It's pretty good.
I think.
Yeah,
Level 18.
I enjoy Masked Man too. He's like my favorite character for sure.
I think my gun, the one I use the most, M4A1, I think it's level 35 now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I played the shit out. I played
Lewis, like clearly a fork, man. Fork and plastic table, not even close. Yeah.
I seem to get more stuff off of that than any other map that I played.
Oh yeah, like all I would say, like yeah, everything is very rough right now. There's not really a lot of progression. The maps aren't really balanced for loot at all right now. So yeah, it's just kind of like a walk around and vibe and kill things sort of game.
Yep, that's about all I'm doing. So what are you playing? Scrapyard?
Yeah.
That's that little short map, man.
Yeah, short but a lot of combat.
What the fuck's the point in that? Like you go and then what's the point of just going back to the same where you spawn for extraction?
It's sort of like a raid, right? Like you go hit up a point real quick, you do some things, you get some stuff and get out. Like a quick little raid.
Well, I mean, they could have like put another excavation on the other side, like a spawn point and excavation. It's like you got to run back to the same point. I was just wondering because none of the other maps is like that. I'm like, why didn't they just make an excavation point?
That's fair. I also think it's one of the reasons why they did it, because it's not like any of the other maps, right? It's its own little thing. By the nature of you having to go in and then get out the same way you came in, it kind of creates an interesting, like a different experience. Maybe not better, but different from the other maps.
Yeah, if I remember, I've only played it like twice. I don't think that it's not even a very big map, is it?
No, it's not very big.
Yeah, well, we can go mess around. I'm already ready.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I did all my stuff last night when I was playing before I quit the game. So.
Oh, I meant like,
readied
up, in the ready up screen.
I'm not on the ready up screen. I'm just saying I'm ready whenever you
Oh,
are.
I'm ready whenever you are. Blood Panda, you'd be surprised at the amount of truckers that game. It's actually, I'm not sure how many actually do, but I have seen plenty of trucks with actual like setups in them, mobile setups, like those like giant gaming laptops that you would like wonder why would you not buy a desktop.
I brought 300 rounds, but hopefully that's enough.
Yeah. So one quick trick about this map too, you kind of want to do the extract before you actually play the map, so you can leave whenever you want without having to do this. Mushi, I'm not too worried about it.
What do you mean by that? I don't get what you're saying.
So like you see how we have a timer right now to extract, so 45 seconds going down.
Yeah.
If we do this first and then go play the map, we can now come back and just leave on the spot when we want to, as opposed to having to wait, you know, when bad things might be chasing us. Essentially just lets you leave instantly when you want to, if you just do it first. Spork still has those spikes, Lewis.
Like a headshot.
Yeah, the headshots in this game are very satisfying. But no, there's definitely like those giant Alienware laptops, and the laptops are like 3, 4, 5K. Like, apparently big with truckers, right? Because, you know, they're always on the road for the most part. But they are. Would you rather?
So like the only way we can go is forward, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Forward this.
Well, I don't think we're like arguing about the merits of a spork, but we're just saying in regards to like between a spoon, a fork, and a spork, I think they're all probably superior to like plastic furniture as a weapon. Blood. Plenty of loot there if you want some. That is fair. I guess there is a quality discussion. But like like sporks, plastic sporks just end up breaking all the time. So conceptually, yeah, like they'd be pretty useless as a weapon. But metal though, like imagine getting your skin raked. Like it wouldn't kill you, but God, it would fucking hurt getting your skin raked by a spork. I guess it could go for the throat too. I mean, to be fair, like plastic chair or spork or cutlery of any kind, yeah, when it goes to the throat, it's gonna probably do very bad things to you. I don't think I've seen cutlery from McDonald's in forever. Hit me. What the hell? I mean, Rumple, I'm confused because at the same, like... Does that mean we don't talk about it a lot? Or too much? Because plastic cutlery is really fucking cheap. Like, literally cents. Like, if you had a nickel, you could probably actually just afford plastic cutlery by itself.
Perhaps bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's got some nooks and crannies to it. Oh, there goes. There's a
What pack are you? What rig are you carrying?
pack mule, same as you. By the way, there's a gotcha here if you want it.
I can or whatever. I have water on me.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I think gotcha gets you a lot more money than water does, but if you need water, you need water.
Yeah, water don't give you no money.
It does not, no. Really? Plastic knives? I don't feel like... From my experience with plastic knives, they don't cut real good.
Oh shit, we done went in the circle.
Oh no, yeah, that's it. We did a loop. We went in and got our stuff and then went out.
Shit, I should have picked up more shit. I don't care.
I get a gotcha box. That's pretty good. That alone's can like probably worth like up at 50k.
Shit, usually I'll fuck. Is this map the same as like if you load up too much stuff, it'll send the hunters after you?
The gotcha won't by itself, no.
No, I meant like the way the hunters come out is if you kill too many of them, Europans or Eurasians, whichever one it is. If you kill too many of them, or if you steal too much stuff, that's when the
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
hunters come out.
Correct. This is one of the few maps that actually do not have hunter killers.
Getting there. Slowly but surely. I get something at least.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty good experience for that AA. What level was that?
Hold on. Can't hear my loading screen. I don't think it's a fair fight when you compare something metal compared to something plastic, but it was just kind of a continuation of the whole thing. Like, would you rather be producing spoons or a plastic chair? And I guess if it's plastic spoon versus plastic chair, it's gonna be plastic chair. But like if it's metal spoon versus plastic chair, metal spoon.
So what's the deal when you like? What was you saying?
Go ahead, please.
I was gonna say I didn't even know if you heard me about the AA-12.
Oh no, I have it. It's pretty high level. It's really easy to level up because it just mows things down so quickly.
I have I think I had one of those, but I lost them. I lost it or whatever. But I got the other automatic shotgun. What's that? I was just wondering, what's the deal with like when you don't make it through when you get killed on a map? Sometimes when you come back, the gun that you had, like sometimes it's still there, sometimes it's damaged, and other times it disappears completely. What the hell is the difference between the three?
Okay, so when you pick up guns in Raid, right, they can be in two states. They can be destroyed or disabled. When you bring them back, the destroyed guns will go into your inventory and you can just sell them. For disabled guns, essentially, if you bring them back and then move them to your inventory, they get repaired and then you can use them. And so you'll never see a disabled gun in your inventory in the innards because when you move it to your innards inventory, it will just automatically repair itself.
Yeah, you're talking about guns in the map, though. I'm talking about the guns that you carry into battle, like your primary and your secondary. Like when you come back and you die on the map, and then you go back to the innards. Sometimes it takes that gun away. Like
it should take that gun away. If it doesn't, it's just a bug.
Yeah, sometimes when I die, like I have my guns back, right?
Yeah, so like...
And then sometimes when I die, they're damaged and I have to restore them. And then other times I come back and the damn gun has just disappeared completely. I don't even have it in my inventory.
They shouldn't be damaged at all. I think you might just be seeing damaged guns from before. So like when you die, you essentially lose those items. And when you come back to your innards, they should only have your surplus AK and your surplus shotgun on. And so you would need to replace those with guns you buy or guns you had in your inventory. If you go...
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. When you come back, it does give you the default guns, but my guns that I had are still in my inventory. They're just damaged. They're non-functional, and then I have to restore them. Like, I have to repair them. Like, I have to buy parts for them.
Oh, okay, I see what you're referring to now. Okay, when you customize guns, those are not considered standard parts that just come off the guns themselves. So you're buying the extra components, the customization, if you will. So, like, say for example, if you have like hand grip C, and that you can only buy that off a vendor or find it in raid. Say for example, you have that on a gun you have. Essentially, think this way: when you customize a gun, it saves it as a template. It's not a real gun; it's just the blueprint for a gun when it's red. And so when you repair that, it will rebuild that gun off parts it can buy from the vendors. Because if you go to the...
Or the ones that I have on stock. Right?
Correct, yeah. So like if you go to your inventory and you see like a red blueprint, like red over a gun, that means it's missing a part. When you hit restore, it will...
Yeah, that's what it looks like when I come back, when I die.
Yeah, essentially means that like you're missing a part for that gun, and it could just be the gun itself. Which means you lost it, right? So it just means you need to restore it, and restoring it will mean it will try to buy the parts from the vendors. So say, for example, if you have...
Yeah, sometimes it'll say, like, it'll say I'll go restore, and then it'll say certain parts, and then it costs a certain amount, and then I just buy it, and then sometimes it says unavailable. Unavailable
means the vendors that you need to buy those parts from aren't high enough level or don't sell that part. Typically speaking, it's usually that your vendors aren't high enough level, so you need to go to those vendors and sell them things to make them high up again, or wait till they're higher level.
Oh, hell, I mean, usually I keep them at level 3. That's as high as they can go.
Correct. And so, like, if it's level 3, if your vendors are level 3 and you can't buy the part, it means it's something that they don't sell. You can only find in raid. So save or get from a quest, for example. Like, for example, the 36M is one of the, like, or like a Vepr, right? A Vepr 12 or a PM9 or an RPD. Those are guns that aren't sold by the vendors but are still in the game. So if you get those guns, you have to go find them again, right? You just can't restore them because you don't have a vendor to sell it to you.
Yeah, I think my Vesper's been like non-functional before, and I still was able to make it functional again. But I don't know. I just can't catch on to all of it, like how it's, because there's no directions. So I don't.
Yeah, it's very early access right now. It's kind of yeah. I will say though, like, your perspective is definitely pretty valuable, and like if you're not on the Discord, definitely go to the Discord, verify your game, and give feedback, because yeah, like your pain points, what you're describing to me, is something that like wouldn't occur to me, but is still definitely very valuable to them, because there's always this issue with onboarding, right? Like getting players into your game, and you not understanding those systems is very important for them to understand. Like it's very important for like someone like you to explain to them, is like, this doesn't work out. Like, I don't understand this system. But if you don't, I'll try to explain that to them too if I ever talk to them, because like, yeah, like the reasons why you're having issues are very valuable. It's the main friction that stops newer players from joining the game, or continuing to play the game, if you will. He's not talking to you, Boar. He said he was kind of working, so I imagine he can get pulled away pretty easily. But like, no, so what he's describing, by the way, is why like game studios will go out of their way to like hire just random people from like a test audience, or just test players who aren't that familiar with gaming, to see how they feel about a game. Because you can only get so much information from people who are naturally drawn to your game, or naturally play a lot of games, right? And so like feedback like his is pretty invaluable, right? I personally wouldn't get to the point of the friction that he's having, but like I definitely understand where he's coming from with his friction. I think you got pulled away from work. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I will usually figure out systems pretty easily, or like through trial and error, but yeah, most won't, or like it's not indicative of how easy it is, right? Or hard it is. We have a new person. I think we're gonna go do a different map though. We'll do Mech Trenches. Sorry if I misled you. It could be someone's first shooter, especially when you're like kind of like showing off an artistic game like this. They might be attracted to the art style, and then like they may not be too familiar with shooters and like extraction shooters and customization. And like I was actually going to, like, they weren't asking for it, so I wasn't gonna give it, because I don't want to get like, I don't want to bog them down with things that aren't relevant to what they're working on currently. I do think the tutorial is pretty out of date currently. It's not too relevant because they're working on other things to make the game more up to date with other things, but like I do think before they release the tutorial definitely needs some love. No, I was gonna launch. Small man, I'm sorry. I mean, no man, I do have occasional gameplay videos too. They're actually much more easier for me to produce also. Are you here? I don't want to launch the game without you being here. Just want to make sure. I think you got put away for work. This is the downside of working while playing. I have done it before also. And sometimes you'll just go randomly AFK. Which is perfectly fair. Work takes precedence, right? But at the same time, just like, you suddenly just ghost. Kill Po stands for something I don't really want to say on stream. I actually cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can, yes.
Yeah, I don't know why you can't hear me while we're on that screen, but...
Oh, you were like alt-tabbed? Okay.
I don't know. Nah, I don't know what was going on. I was pushing T.
Oh,
That's the talk button, so I don't know.
alright.
I was asking you if you was ready because you didn't have any ammo and shit.
Oh no, I'm good now.
And that guy jumped in. And then he was waiting. He didn't wait for like 30 seconds, then he jumped back out.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see plenty of lobbies that are usually AFK, but yeah, that's why he left pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. Yeah, like that's always the issue too, Lewis, with like how early access is currently. It can be misleading. And people who aren't familiar with early access might get kind of be like, this doesn't feel like a fully fledged game. Yeah, well, yeah, it's early access. Let's just say, in a game I loved back when I made this name, Medieval 2 Total War, a big process of that game was the Catholic Church. And just to go ahead and say, I was raised Catholic, so this is all okay. And the Catholic Church in Medieval 2 Total War is domineering. They're kind of like this authority figure outside of like the regular kings who can kind of try and keep you in line or keep you from doing fun things, like for example, conquering Europe. And so one of the popes, or a few of the popes, I guess, weren't really taking kindly to having me play England and taking over Europe with longbowmen. And I naturally had a pretty high-level assassin in that game. And let's just say a bunch of popes back to back who decided to excommunicate me for taking over Europe died to mysterious circumstances. I mean, Duffs, isn't that the sign of a great name? Is it going to be applicable to multiple things? Like, it can be both. And like, I will say too, in regards to my video content currently, there's really not too much I can say about the gameplay currently. And so naturally that's taken a backseat or a lull to like the deep dives. But as content comes out and things change, naturally I can do more. Lewis, there was something weird about that, right? Like, yeah, like...
Yeah, I don't think I brought enough health.
There's medical kits around here if you want to go loot them. I can drop you some meds too.
I wonder why my gun is shooting so slow.
So
It shoots fast.
it's a weird bug right now with multiplayer that I'm hoping they're fixing. When you're not the host of a multiplayer lobby, things are a bit weird. And
yeah, 'cause I was trying to switch it would just go to burst. It wouldn't go over to auto.
well, the auto will like
But now I got it to go to auto.
it'll go to auto, but it like even on auto it will shoot a little bit slower than you're expecting. It's just the networking right now.
Well, yeah, I'm used to the gun, but it's always been on auto. For some reason, when I started playing with you, it went to semi.
I don't know why I did that. I don't really know, Nomad. I usually just go for like a murder spree when I'll generally try and kill Europans for cigarettes. Like, for example, if I'm farming cigarettes, I will do what I just did. I will have plug pull on. I will come here, murder all the Europans, and then leave, and then do it again. I won't ever turn in plug pull. I'll just keep it on to spawn the extra units. Because if you have plug pull on, it will spawn an extra squad of elite Europans to defend him. There's actually a good room over here for loot.
I've played this map like once or twice or something.
It's a good map for both water and meds. That's really about it, though. But like that room right here, and then this room right here, basically like the only two really good loot spots.
Hey, this gear is delicate. I need time to sort.
But no, yeah, like once we get more content in the game itself, I'm much more interested in going over the video.
Never heard of him.
But like, you can definitely, once I feel like the maps have a degree of solidity to them, I would probably be much more open to doing like the deep dive maps like I did with Ashen Mesa. The problem is I'm just not sure how much more work are going to go into the maps, like with the respawn mechanics. So it's a lot of effort to have something that goes potentially out of date very quickly.
Somebody come behind.
Yeah, just some cyborgs. Wait, what? We all know Kilpo was what the staff of the Chinese buffet would say. Oh, okay, I got you.
Surprised this gun ain't tearing us up.
Yeah, it's distracted for now. It might start carrying eventually, but it's got other things to shoot for the time being. That's kind of how I would approach, like, so if, Luce, if you've seen my National Mesa video, that's kind of what I do, right? On that video. And so the reservation basically is like, I want to make sure like the maps are kind of like up to date or like kind of almost like goal pass certified before I go into like do a video for them, right? Yeah, Soundtrack's great. It's like one of, I think, 3 or 4. I think I might have 5 soundtracks now. I have Transistor. I think I have Hades. I have Forever Winter. I might have Dune Spice Wars also. I need to buy Returnals. Oh god, Returnal is so good. Like, if there's a game I might actually play on stream, it might be Returnal. Might not be a great game though, because it like...
Are you using a UAV?
I am not. Are you?
No, I was just wondering because you was spotting everything, so I just figured you could see it all with the UAV.
Oh no, I'm just chronically on the habit of hitting Z over everything. No, like, yeah, the OST and sound design really make a game. Like that's the big thing too, right? Is like you can fix the gameplay of a game, but like if your art is off, if your atmosphere is off, if your sound is off, you can't really. It takes a long time to fix that. It's almost untenable, right? So like starting with a good art style first and good sound design first, and then going from there. No. Like, Returnal has great sound design. Like, if you've never played Returnal, my god.
Are you purposely not picking that up?
Oh, I'm pretty full, but you can keep looting. No rush. I'm actually not pretty full.
Damn, you got that pack wheels already full?
Oh, maybe I don't actually. I'm not that full, actually, but, like, I usually don't try to fill it up all the way. Because it does take a while. It's like, I think it's like 1.2 thousand kilograms if you try to fill it up.
I still got 3 whole empty slots.
You want to loot some more?
No, I don't care. I'm just saying. I still got. Do you have your rig all with all the best stuff on it? Or
oh
whatever?
yeah, the upgraded containers. Yeah, like we both have the same thing on right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you filled yours up quick. I didn't even see you.
Oh, I'm not that full. I'm 300 right now, so I'm not full, but I'm happy with what I have currently. I don't need to be greedy. But no, Returnal has like an amazing boss fight that really incorporates the soundtrack of the game.
Right now. Huh?
I'm not all the way full now, but I'm happy with what I got. Does not hear me?
No, I'm saying where do you see how much weight you're
Oh,
carrying?
at the very bottom below your health bar.
Mine says 0.
Oh, you might. It's a bug. That's a bug. Sometimes that happens in multiplayer.
They're coming behind us.
Yep, time to leave. But no, yeah, like so Returnal's boss Hyperion basically incorporates the sound design and the soundtrack of the game so well into the boss fight. It's just like, and it blindsides you too, right? Like you don't think it's happening until you get there and it happens. Like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Well, that was a hunter killer, so I guess we picked up too much stuff or killed too many.
Oh yeah, no, that's very easy on this map between all the killing we do. I would say the 0 to 0 HP and occasionally your inventory space. I would say those are not features. But hey, to each their own. Maybe you don't like knowing information. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for playing, but I'm gonna hop off for now. But as I said to him, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good weekend. That's it for me today. I'll see you guys again on Monday. And yeah, I'll work on a new video probably this weekend, and it'll probably not be until like later next week before it comes out. But yeah. See y'all, have a good weekend, and catch you later.